everyone. Welcome to 30 Minute Reviews. I'm Adam.
Hi, I'm Peter. Welcome to 30-Minute Reviews.
Okay, and
Here today with Adam.
Josie couldn't join us because I think it was just she got a new work schedule and didn't inform us until about 20 minutes before we were on the other day. So that's why we're so late with the episode. So here we are. Um, Did so let's see, where should we start out? We have a lot this week that all follows a similar theme, which doesn't usually happen. That just worked out that way this week. Um so to start out, let's the moral this week is learning from past mistakes. And we have quite a few companies this week that haven't quite done that, which is what we have a lot of to talk about. So let's start out with DC. So I don't know if you heard the Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, went to
Yes,
meet with the
you don't need to clarify. I know who The Rock is.
Well, I just like saying his whole name, so that way everyone's clear on that. He went to meet with the executives at Warner Brothers. The only thing I can think of that happened is he signed on to play Black Adam in the Shazam movie. And he was like, he went to them like, you guys have to get your shit together like now. And so he went over there to talk to them about it. And he came out of the meeting and said, we're gonna have big news for you guys in the next few days regarding some of DC's upcoming film slate.
What if DC is like they have a press conference and like the big news is just like The Rock's not Black Adam anymore?
No, I have the big news.
Oh, okay.
The big news was about the Green Lantern movie.
The Rock is now the Green Lantern and Black Adam.
No. The Rock should be one of the characters in this movie. When I say it, you'll be like, oh, that could be cool. So David Goyer is returning from his previous roles in the DC Cinematic Universe to write the movie. So we don't know if that's a good idea, considering his previous two ventures for Warner Brothers were Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
Your point being?
Neither of those movies were well received, so I don't know why you'd put the same guy who has those two in common onto this movie, which a lot of people were really excited for until this news came out.
Yeah, wasn't like Chris Terrio the like saving grace behind like the good parts of Batman v Superman?
Yeah. He was the one. He's what's his name? Ben Affleck's guy. Who was like, no, we're not doing this. This is stupid.
Ben Affleck's movie's not doing that hot. His like mob movie.
Yeah, Live by Night.
40s.
Yeah. So they're bringing David Goyer back. Now the movie, they're billing it as a Lethal Weapon space buddy cop movie with Hal Jordan, not Ryan Reynolds. They're gonna recast Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Okay. That's a weird way to pitch that.
Now here's the other thing. David Goyer does not have comedy under his belt, because the other movie that he co-wrote was Batman Begins with Christopher Nolan.
Comedy gold.
So it's not like, but the thing is, if you're gonna say, oh, it's a Lethal Weapon style, like space buddy cop movie,
they're like part of Lethal Weapon where that woman gets pushed out of a window and dies.
Yeah, well, maybe that's.
And did you see the same movie I did, Batman v Superman? The part where he's like, "I thought she was with you."
Yeah, there was
they had to pause the movie because people were laughing so hard. They had to pause the movie and wait for the laugh to stop.
I don't.
People gave a standing ovation. It's the first time in the history of movies where around the country people gave a standing ovation in the middle of a movie for one joke.
Okay, I'll give you that line was moderately amusing.
And there's the part where Alfred makes fun of Bruce Wayne for being an alcoholic.
Alfred
More
was the funniest part of that
hilarity.
movie. The relationship between Alfred and Bruce Wayne was great in that movie. But we're getting off topic. As usual, we've talked at length about Batman v Superman, and now the movie wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. It was just kind of there.
We'll see what. Just like the Bush presidency, let's let history decide.
Wonder Woman is looking pretty good, so maybe that'll fix
That
things.
as a, it's kind of like I'm trying to word this in a way where I don't sound not like a good person, but basically it has going for it it's a lead woman superhero that's like a famous superhero, so that could be
That's
going for it.
that's the thing is if you
But at the same time, that could kill it if it doesn't go up to what people want it to be. Then people could destroy it.
here's the thing with that. I think it's gonna have the same goalpost moving that Ghostbusters did.
But it was out all the hate at least.
Exactly.
Precede.
There's no vitriol except for the casting of Gal Gadot.
I
Like
like Gal Gadot.
I
She's
don't have a
cool.
problem with her, but apparently people have a problem because like she's not as like Wonder Woman had a very not masculine, but she
She
was
had a deeper.
muscular,
Yeah.
very
Well, I
muscular
don't know.
build.
I think she's good enough.
I'm
She
not
has dark.
going.
She has dark hair.
Yeah. She
Done.
looks vaguely like the character.
Yeah.
Um,
She's white.
um, but I think did you see the reviews for Hidden Figures, which actually won 2 consecutive weeks at the box office?
No, I did not. I just know it won. Yeah, the box office.
Yeah, it beat Star Wars 2 weeks in a row, the box office by under $1 million, and the reviews are all like, "This was an important story that needed to be told."
That is true, but it was also a book that like came out last year, a few years ago.
But that's not the only thing. The reviews all say this is an important story that needs to be told, so it got rated highly based on the story. Anytime they talk about the acting or the cinematography or anything that goes along with why this is a movie, it loses points on all of those. So when this movie doesn't get nominated for an Oscar, then it's gonna like people are gonna be like, why? It got well received. No, we're moving the goalposts too much. Like the movie is okay, I guess, but like it's too comedic from the trailer.
Yeah, it could have just been a bad trailer. Also,
It could have, but like the trailer turned me off to seeing the movie because it felt like I know what you're going with here, and it felt more like you're gonna get nominated for an Oscar after what happened in the last 2 years
because of Selma.
because of well no, Selma shouldn't have been nominated. Period. Neither should have Straight Outta Compton. If anything should have been nominated for Best Picture, it should have been Concussion.
Well, Moonlight is going to be nominated.
I think Moonlight has a strong chance to win. I think Moonlight should be my number one pick to win Best Picture. Number two would be Manchester by the Sea. Number three would be La La Land.
I was literally about to say the three for Best Picture are the exact three you just said, and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Batman v Superman.
No. You know, Deadpool put itself into contention for an Academy Award.
That's sad because I know they think that they made a movie that was like important too.
Yeah, they submitted themselves for consideration to the Academy to try and win an Oscar. To be fair, Civil War did the same thing for the acting categories. I think they're trying to get a nomination for Robert Downey Jr. to legitimize the movies, but it's the same reason. Like they're talking about Matt Ryan for MVP in football, and
Uh
the
huh.
reason why he's being considered is improvement against his previous performances. Like this is Matt Ryan's best year. Like it's MVP, not most improved.
Yeah. I also heard a Patriots fan say that no matter what happens, Tom Brady should just win the MVP automatically because he's had the best season as a quarterback.
No, Aaron Rodgers had a better season than him this year,
Well, they're Patriots fans, so
and
they
Ezekiel Elliott should win the MVP, but that's not the point right now. But the
I
reason I
think
brought
Roger Goodell should give it to himself because he's the most valuable commissioner.
I win, haha. I think the reason why I brought the Matt Ryan thing is because it's the same reason why people think that Robert Downey Jr. should get a nomination. for Academy Award for Civil War because
Oh, because it's better than
compared to previous times he played Tony Stark, it's a good performance.
because instead of him just talking, he actually acted.
Yeah, he showed emotion a few times, so
Yeah.
I guess that's what they're going for now. But no, I don't think. I think Best Actress is gonna go to what's her name?
Margot Robbie
Emma
for Suicide.
Stone. Emma Stone's gonna win Best Actress because there's really no competition against her this year. Um, I
Margot
think
Robbie.
I
Suicide Squad.
think Casey Affleck could win for Manchester by the Sea for Best Actor over Ryan Gosling. But that's all I can really like venture a guess on. The Academy Award nominations will be coming out in a few weeks. Um,
Exciting.
and we'll be talking about those when they do drop. But we
Right
did
now,
talk about
Hidden Figures has a 74 on Metacritic. I'm assuming it's
it's
IMDb.
in the
IMDb
90s on
on
Rotten
Rotten
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. It's because all the scores are like in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, that just bumps it up like crazy. This is when you get to see the big difference between Metascore and Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's got like a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 70.
I feel like 75 is around where it should be at.
Yeah. No, Moonlight's apparently a tremendous movie, and that's the movie that people should be upset about if it doesn't get not if it doesn't win. Like I think you have a right to be upset.
I heard Moonlight is better than Manchester by the Sea
It is
because
allegedly. I haven't seen Moonlight
uh,
yet. It
I
released in
think
the middle of the
Manchester
summer.
by the Sea is the same problem. I haven't seen either, but I'll see them and see if this is right. But it might have the same problem that the book The Jungle by Upton Sinclair has,
Mm-hmm.
where it just gets so like depressing and like it's just bad things keep happening over and over again, where it just doesn't really have an effect anymore. It's just like okay, like let's continue.
It's like
But
Oscar
apparently,
Gold, the fake movie Roger makes on
yeah.
American Dad.
But apparently, Moonlight, like there is like glimmers of hope, and it makes it like that much better.
Yeah.
And it has Remy from House of Cards, Marsha Ali, I think.
Yes. He actually does a very good job in Luke Cage playing Cottonmouth.
I did not know he was in Luke Cage.
Yeah, he is. Um. So.
Oh, Jackie might. Did Jackie make it in like in time, or did it like did that movie have to wait until
No,
next year?
it made it.
That might get something.
I don't think it will.
And people love biodramas like that,
They do, but
especially Jackie O. Everyone loves Jackie O.
if Will Smith's dumb accent in Concussion kept him from a nomination, I think Natalie Portman's dumb accent to keep her from a nomination.
The best part about Will Smith's dumb accent is that that guy doesn't even have an accent like that.
The movie was good. There was a good movie. It's just there are certain things I didn't like about it. We will eventually cover Concussion because I feel like we do need to talk about that movie because it teaches you a lot about what CTE actually is and how what causes it in the brain and that kind of stuff. But like it has random shots of horror movie like editing, and it's got random like the accent on Will Smith is kind of hard to ignore, like that kind of thing. But we'll eventually discuss that. We'll discuss straight out content too at some point. But I did bring up Deadpool for a reason because we got some casting news for Deadpool 2.
Cool.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead will be returning.
Colossus.
Colossus will be returning.
That's cool.
Not X-Men Colossus, the Colossus from Deadpool.
The one that was in the first one.
Right. And Dopinder will also be returning.
Who was that?
The cab driver.
Oh, I liked him. He's also in. I forget what else he was in right before I watched that.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
But also coming from Fox's camp, Channing Tatum is still attached to a Gambit movie.
Oh
which
yeah,
should have come out 3 years ago at this point.
Oh, that guy was in Safety Not Guaranteed, which is a very good movie.
And one more Fox little tidbit. So, in production slates, there's a production slate that comes out for all the studios. There was a movie titled X-Men Supernova that was listed as being in production by Fox, which everyone assumed was X-Men: The New Mutant, or the
Yeah.
new that other movie. Um, Apparently that's not the case because the New Mutants is a different production title. X-Men Supernova has been given the working title Dark Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
So the next X-Men movie will possibly be doing the Dark Phoenix saga. If we learned anything from the last time they did the Dark Phoenix saga, I wouldn't get my hopes up because I know Bryan Singer's here, but the big problem with this is a lot of the issues people had with Dark Phoenix is they didn't properly adapt it, where the Phoenix Force was from space and it consumed Jean Grey instead of it being a part of her mutation. And it appears as if Bryan Singer has just continued that, where you had a chance to completely redo it and you kind of just screwed that up. Um, Now, this is also a nice little tie to the next thing because do you remember Peter Dinklage from Days of Future Past?
Yes.
He's up for a role in Infinity War.
That's weird.
Do you know what role he's up for, allegedly?
No.
Now, let me preface this. Back when the first Avenger came out, um, not the first Avengers, Captain America, the first Avenger, they asked Marcus McFeely, the screenwriters, if you were able to cast Peter Dinklage in a movie, in a Marvel movie, what character would you have him play? And the answer they gave, now these are the screenwriters on Infinity War. They said they would have him play MODOK. So
Cool.
MODOK may be the villain in Infinity War if they don't go Thanos in that movie and they just have Thanos working in the background, getting the Infinity Stones to do the full Infinity War in Avengers 4. But we don't know yet. They're keeping a very tight-lipped about that. And continuing with Disney, we have some Star Wars news. Carrie Fisher, who died.
Wait,
Um,
what?
they There was rumors earlier in the week that they were going to attempt to digitally recreate Carrie Fisher, um, to be able to reprise her role as Leia in future movies. Then there was outcry over that, like the body's barely cold. How dare you go that quickly and try to figure this out? And so Lucasfilm announced they will not be digitally recreating Carrie Fisher in any future movies
Oh.
from now on.
I support Cinnabon also for their tweet. They said she had the best buns in the galaxy because her hair looked like cinnamon buns.
Yes.
People did not think it was funny, but I support Cinnabon.
um, Other casting news from Star Wars: Woody Harrelson has officially joined the Han Solo origin movie, slated for 2019 release. Nope, 2018. This is 2017. This year is Episode 8. The next year is the Han Solo origin.
That's also when Westworld Season 2 should be premiering, so get ready.
Um, and a new deleted scene was released from The Force Awakens, which,
Oh, is that the one with the Wookiee tearing the arm off?
yeah, in case you
I
were
saw.
concerned, I feel like they cut this because they were just like, this scene's already too similar to the cantina.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's
this,
him paying. It's J.J. Abrams playing homage to Star Wars.
it's not playing homage when you do the entire movie as an homage,
No,
like
no.
scene for scene. Then it's just a
It's just him
remake.
paying his respects to the Star Wars universe. It's
But
little callbacks.
the fat guy from Jakku comes to Takodana for some reason and ends up in the in what's her name's cantina and starts threatening Leia, like not Leia, Rey, saying, "Oh, you're coming with me." And coincidentally, in this deleted scene, it's the only time we ever see Rey in any real danger that she doesn't get
And it's
herself
someone,
out of.
and the real danger is her getting shoved.
Yeah, exactly. And so what happens is, Chewbacca comes over, rips his arm off, and throws it on a table. So, in case you missed that scene from Episode 4, where someone threatens Luke and gets their arm cut off by Obi-Wan, there you go. You can watch it online.
The only good thing about that, I guess, is I guess another way you could look at it is in episode 4 when I think it's C-3PO or Luke playing with game with Chewbacca, and Han is like, "He'll rip your arms off," or something like
Hmm.
that. So that's the only time we'd ever see Chewbacca actually rip someone's arm off.
I think the thing is, like, there's a difference between baiting nostalgia, which Jurassic World did a very good job of,
Oh, it did. I
where it's
fucking
like in the back, like there are small subtle things in the background that you notice, like what's it like? What was the DNA showing up on one of the
Oh yeah,
screens?
that was when they're in the learning center, and then on
Yeah,
the one of the interactive screens is Mr. DNA.
and
Is
it's like the
like
T Rex bursting through the Spinosaurus
yeah,
thing, but like
and Ian Malcolm's book is on the desk of one of the techs.
yeah, like there's small throwbacks that let you know that there was an original. Like there was a previous movie where we're paying homage to it, but we're not ripping directly. But like if they kept in that scene when he accidentally turns on the space chessboard that what's it called? Uh R2 and Chewbacca were playing on.
Yeah, that one is cool.
That would
I
have
like.
been okay. Like he's going through the thing and he finds the little ball that was shooting at Luke to like help him learn how to use the Force. That's okay. But like when you go and do entire scenes like almost identically, like then you got a little bit of a problem. And it's just J.J. Abrams, I think, is one of the most overrated directors in like
I definitely feel that way. Mission Impossible 3 is good.
yeah, but like that and Lost are his two like best things I think, which is sad for someone with such a large like amount of stuff in his filmography. So let's move on to this week's movies. Suicide Squad and Star Trek Beyond.
We both rated in our bottom.
Yeah, but they came out on DVD toward the end of the year, so we're gonna do them now. So which do you want to do first? Do you want to intro Suicide Squad? We'll get that out of the way.
Um,
Did you actually
okay,
like Suicide Squad to an extent?
I did. I enjoyed it. I did hear someone say a very good review of Suicide Squad is you could go to Steam Selection and put it on shuffle, and you
Mm-hmm.
probably wouldn't like miss it. Like it would probably make just as much sense if you watched that movie in like random order
Yeah.
because it wasn't very organized well. I liked the first like 30 minutes. I think were pretty good. How they introduced all the characters. I enjoyed that. I liked Amanda Waller. I know I don't think you did,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought she was cool. The bad guy was not good in Enchantress, right?
Yeah, characters.
That was not good, and some of the CGI was not good. Um,
Mm.
the overall plot was kind of confusing. Like I kept forgetting like what their like purpose was. It almost felt too much like Escape from New York, but not good. It was more like Escape from LA because that's not good. um, there's too many characters that didn't were in like you could tell they try to do all of this, but then they're like, oh wait, the only interesting characters are Will Smith and Margot Robbie, and then the other one just kind of fell by the wayside and
Mm-hmm.
didn't really do anything. Like Captain Boomerang was funny, but just because he was like drinking the whole time and kept making funny remarks, but like he didn't really do anything except for
But
punch people.
Captain Boomerang could be a good character because, like, what's it called? He's one of the Flash's main bad guys. I
We
guess
can
on the
spoil
anime.
stuff, right?
Yeah, we could spoil it.
All right. I liked Slipknot. I think that is that his name? The guy
It's
that dies in
Slipknot.
like the first 5 minutes.
He
That
literally
was
has a line of dialogue, and he's introduced like this is Slipknot. He can climb anything, and that's it.
that guy's in Big Love.
Oh,
He's one of the Indians that he starts the casino with in one of the later seasons.
oh yeah. Now I see it. Um,
And I know I liked Waller just because that was I thought that was a like good reveal when you found out that their whole mission was just a test to see if they could get to her.
yeah, to extract her.
Yeah, and then she shoots everyone.
Now, I have one slight problem with the cover of the Suicide Squad Blu-ray.
Oh wait, and then the other thing is like 80 helicopters crash in this movie.
Yeah, did you see the cinema scenes for it?
Yeah, yeah, I think I did, and it was just like the because the helicopter scenes looked good, so I feel like they blew their whole budget on helicopters and like
Yeah.
crashing helicopters. And like the scene where she escapes looks cool, but it's really dumb because she gets on a helicopter and like shoots off 80 flares to let everyone know where she is, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I have a problem with the Suicide Squad Blu-ray's cover. I picked up the extended cut. I haven't watched the extended cut yet. I've been a little bit
I really
busy.
don't think that it's going to add that much.
No, it's not like Batman v Superman where it adds some context in some scenes, maybe, if you squint
But
hard.
it
And...
also adds all the wasted things like
Exactly.
the children holding hands while they wander through the like 9/11 dust.
Yeah. So if you look at the cover, can you see the cover?
Yeah, hold it like that. I
Okay.
can. Oh, it makes it look like the Joker might be a little bit more important than he actually
Yeah.
is.
The Joker is up in the top left-hand corner of the cover of it, implying that he has more than about 8 minutes of screen time.
Yeah,
Um,
I was fine with the Joker and how much he was in the movie, but with if you saw that cover and you didn't see the movie and you're like, oh cool, the Joker's the bad guy, then you would be understandably pissed
well,
off.
that's what happened with me going into the movie. Like, I knew going into it Enchantress was the bad guy. But that's the other
Yeah.
problem with the DVD cover. If you look, Enchantress is right here in
Well,
the
technically
middle.
she was a member of the
No, she
Suicide
was not. She never was a
Kind,
member of the Suicide Squad.
kind of.
No.
She would have been.
And if you look, Slipknot is also here, despite having...
That's a good I'm fine with that because that's all you wouldn't expect him to die then because he dies really fast.
And Killer Croc is here, and he does almost nothing in the entire movie.
Yeah, he just kind of looks cool.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with him and the fire guy. That was dumb.
Diablo.
Yeah. Like he had cool stuff, but the end fight scene between the two giant CGI monsters was really stupid.
Yeah. And the best was in the, what's it called, the honest trailer. It's like, they gotta save the world from a sky... It's a sky beam, isn't it? Like, everything's a sky beam now. But, like, my biggest problem is, number one, I think this is something I didn't address when we did the Beware of spoilers for it. When you have a character as the villain that's displayed as nearly omnipotent, like Enchantress is, and can teleport and she's got melee
Yeah,
weapons.
you create a lot of potholes.
Right. You create a situation where if you win, the win doesn't feel like you earned it. It feels like you won because the plot demanded it.
Yeah, because it's like, why doesn't she just, especially with Amanda Waller, why doesn't she just kill Amanda Waller?
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in keeping her alive. Also, Amanda Waller survived a helicopter crash.
And then, like, what's it called? Like, there's the whole thing where she, what was I gonna say? She can teleport around with swords that she materialized out of thin air. Why didn't she just teleport behind people and kill them
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
swords? Like, that's the big problem when you have a villain who can teleport, is you have to kind of balance it out, where there's some other weakness to exploit. Like, there's a tell of where they're going to reappear, or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it makes it feel like it's not a cheap shot. Then this, I don't know why they thought they were going. And okay, there's Katana, who has no purpose in this movie.
This is Katana. She has my back. That's her
She's just
purpose.
kind of there.
She was cool, but yeah, they should have done a little bit more with her as a character.
She has a backstory in the loosest sense of the term.
Oh yeah, that her sword collects people's souls.
And her husband got killed by the sword. So
Oh, yeah, I
anytime she's
forgot
talking
about
to the sword, she's talking to her dead husband.
Have you ever seen the movie? It's called like Superman or something. And it's Ben Stiller, and they're like all fake superheroes.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's like in the vein of Kick-Ass and Super, but it
Mhm.
came out in like the very early 2000s. And Janine Garofalo has a bowling ball with her father's skull in it that she like talks to, and that's what it reminded me of.
Also, the post-credit scene makes me wonder why this entire movie actually happened. Because if she had a dossier on both the Flash and Aquaman, why would you call
Why
them
didn't
in?
she just
Yeah,
like
and not
create a better squad?
like why wouldn't you use them? Because like the Flash is literally the most overpowered hero in the Justice League, I think, and Aquaman is stronger than Superman.
Yep. He is. Aquaman's
So
really cool.
like okay, so let's see who would get like wrecked in about 6 seconds to either of those. And I think you have the entire Suicide Squad would fall in about 5 seconds to either of them, let alone both of them teamed up, including Enchantress. Um,
I like Jared Leto's Joker. I thought
I
for how much it was in it.
I go back and forth on it because I thought it was an interesting portrayal in the same way that I thought Jared Leto's portrayal, not Jared Leto, Heath Ledger's portrayal in The Dark
I
Knight
think it's
was
a good job
interesting.
portraying it, and it's a character that could be like in a bunch of different movies.
Yeah,
Because Heath Ledger's Joker, um, it was perfect for that, but it'd be hard to that type of portrayal to continue that over such a long time
exactly.
because it's just an anarchist that's trying to destroy like the will of Batman.
Yeah.
So like his like prime directive doesn't really equate to like a crime prince like Jared Leto's does.
hmm Like, well, yeah, Jared Leto, you can see it's there. You can start the case.
Yeah, it's
I still,
closer to Jack Nicholson's like
yeah,
mob boss Joker.
which is what it
But
is.
Jack Nicholson's mob boss Joker's like motivation was that he like wanted to have sex with like this girl
Yeah, well, what are you
and spray paint stuff.
gonna do?
But it was cool, so it's okay.
um, but yeah, I really didn't like this movie because it's like it again. Like I said when we did the beware of spoilers for it. Um, the movie is predicated on a team up of a bunch of characters who should be established already before you
Yeah,
do
that's
this
like the
movie.
big. This is not a movie you do third movie out for
Yeah,
a
third movie
cinematic
out
universe.
where none of the characters are villains of the established characters already.
This would have been like if they did like Guardians of the Galaxy third, and then still tried to explain all the Infinity Stones and expected people to understand what was going on.
No, you could have done that because the Tesseract was barely confirmed to be an Infinity Stone, and people saw Guardians of the Galaxy without seeing what's it called? Without
Okay,
seeing
that's
Thor: The Dark World. You could have done that. This would have been like if they tried to do a Thunderbolts movie with Justin Hammer, with Baron Zemo, with Abomination. Well, no, because then even Abomination would have been established at the third movie
all
because
right. Wait, it's
Abomination
like
was
it's if they try to do Civil War, and then that's
yes,
when they introduced all the characters
yeah,
within Civil.
that's a good example. Because
Like a Civil War was exactly the same as it was, except
but
we had no idea who those characters were.
exactly. But the other thing is, like what's it called? The did we ever talk about the Salon article about Civil War where it's like female characters you could have introduced in Civil War besides Spider-Man?
Oh no, I did not.
Like that was
I'm
like a
sure it was extremely well written because Salon is the greatest news source
but
of
they
all
they
time.
wrote they listed in 10 characters. One was like Monica Rambeau, who's like a cosmic level hero, and like would have wrecked everyone. Like you saw how little Vision had to be involved, and he's one of the higher level regular heroes.
Yeah, and like Scarlet Witch literally had to
Like
make
pull people
like
apart.
supervise to fight. Yeah,
Like it's ridiculous. And then but like with um that was the other thing. Civil War reminded me. I wanted to bring this up. People talk about with Batman v Superman and Man of Steel how poorly characterized Superman is because they in the comics they did Injustice, and Injustice was a big shock because it goes against everything that the characters stand for.
I'm fine with that.
But the
It's
thing
like
is, a character as a Superman where Injustice could be a logical progression of his character rather than a surprise that it did happen. But people
oh
didn't have the same complaint about Civil War when literally the same thing happened with Civil War because literally all they've done is build up that these characters will fight each other over the two
well, I
Avengers
guess
movies.
I don't know. I think they did a good job with Superman's back and forth, where it's like, why should he give a fuck? And at the same time, he's like, I want to try to be a good person, but
But
everyone
that's
hates
never
me.
Superman's problem. Superman's
But
and
now
I've heard Mark
it's
Bernardin talk about Superman where he
it's
said
Superman's.
Superman's problem is not that it's that he cares too much and wants to help everyone, but he physically cannot because he's not omnipotent or not
Well, he
omnipresent.
can just fly around the world and make it go backwards.
Okay, well, we don't talk about that movie.
Do you know one of Superman's other powers is he can make a mini Superman,
I did not know that.
and, and he has all the same exact powers as Superman. Like he just goes like this, and like another Superman will come out of his hand like that, and it's like a Superman, and it's like a completely like its own being. He has like a lot of weird powers like that.
Well, the Flash can do that too. not with
Maybe it's
his
just like
hands, but he can create time remnants by going back in time or going fast enough that he goes forward in time and talk to his past self, who is in the same time, and like make his past self do something or his future
that's
self do
weird.
something from a different
That makes a little
timeline.
bit more sense though, because it like goes with the physics of that character kind of. The
Yeah,
Superman
it's
one is
it's fantasy. There's no physics of that character.
okay. Well, it's like it relates back to his actual powers at least of
Right.
going fast. Like the Superman one is just he creates life.
um, but yeah. So how would you rate Suicide Squad?
Out of 10,
Hmm.
I don't know. It did. It did like give me certain enjoyment. So I feel like 6.
I'm gonna go in the words of the great Max Landis, a solid 5 out of 10.
Because for Max Landis, that's good.
Max Landis is such a prick. Moving on to Star Trek Beyond.
But for Josie said it was her favorite movie of the year. Can't remember.
Yeah,
Forget.
yeah, we can't not acknowledge that. That's
So
just
I guess Josie
wrong.
would give it a higher score.
Yeah, she'd give it around a 9, I think. Um, Star Trek Beyond. I was on the fence about this movie because for me it felt like they were trying to do what the original Star Trek franchise was like predicated on and built on, where it's like it's smaller budget, so they're going and they're exploring an alien planet and trying to figure out what's going on there, all that stuff. And but every time they would get that going at a good clip and going fast, it would be beaten by something in them, like something would happen in the movie and bring it back to a screeching halt, where it's like, no, this is just another modern Star Trek movie.
Yeah, it kept taking me out of it.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's it. Yeah,
I did like the split up of the characters, and you got to see them all doing like different things.
right. Yeah,
That felt like the show.
that was good. The like the whole thing of them exploring and like having to like seeing the dynamic between Bones and Spock was cool and like all that kind of stuff. But like then there's like the after image motorcycle scene. There's the
And the
surfing on the wave of the bad guys while
that was
Sabotage by the
cool.
Beastie Boys plays.
That
Like
was awesome.
like I like when it's like, oh, they get messed up
You
by,
knew it was
by
happening.
yeah, because
Like
oh, they get messed up by weird frequencies, and like I know exactly what to do. I'm like, oh God in heaven.
that's how I was just like, is this actually going to happen? But then I just I accepted it and let it wash over me, and I was just like, this is happening, and then I enjoyed it.
I was like, Christ. Um, and then
I just felt like it was the worst type of movie where it was just fine, where it really
yeah,
gave me nothing at the end.
exactly. Like if I'm gonna see a bad movie, I'd rather see a bad movie than just an okay movie.
Yeah, like the second one was had things good and bad about it, but I still enjoy. Like I liked the second one with Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan, and like.
But he's not Khan.
There's-
Don't worry.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
spoilers. Even though like literally everyone knew.
guys, it's not Khan. It's not Khan. And then it's like, oh wait, it's Khan. Haha, fooled you.
Yeah, and he was just like, I got you all. Like you had no idea.
It's like what's it called? Jason Todd being the Arkham Knight. It's like, who is the Arkham Knight? And everyone's like, oh, it's Jason Todd. And then they're like, no, it's not Jason Todd.
You
Try
have to play to
again.
find out.
And then the game comes out. It's like, haha, it's Jason Todd. Fooled you.
As long as you just don't acknowledge what's going on, it works out perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
That happened in Westworld too. Like people on Reddit figured out like all the twists in Westworld in like the second episode, and the Jonathan Nolan like would go on Reddit and he would just be like, I don't know, guys, you might be wrong, but then he was like was mad because they figured it out. But then they also stopped going on Reddit because they kept seeing theories that they liked better than what they did, so they were just like, we're just gonna not acknowledge what is going on.
hmm But yeah, I don't really have too much to talk about this movie because it's just utterly forgettable. Like,
Yeah, that's like Suicide Squad has some cool things in it because of the introduction of characters at least. But this movie, it was all the characters were there. Like I didn't really care about that alien girl at all.
yeah, there's a weird subplot where everyone wants to quit again. Like,
Oh yeah,
you're not giving me anything new here. Just you're just treading the same water over and over again.
And it has that weird like backstory with the old ship that gets like taken, and they have to
Yeah,
like.
like I don't, but they never really explain what happened that made what's it called? That made Idris Elba turn into that.
Oh yeah, I forgot
He just
about that
kind of
too.
turned into it.
I forgot I was in this movie. And yeah, they
Um,
can like and then become like immortal too. They can like live forever.
yeah, it was odd to say the least. Um, but yeah, so I like this movie. I would give like a solid 6 because like it
Yeah,
entertained me for the 2 hours I watched it. Like it's not
I
something
agree. I
I
think a
don't ever
6 is
anticipate watching it again. Like it happened. If you're gonna watch it the first time, just that way you're gonna know the context going into the fourth Star Trek movie. Then okay, but it's not like
yeah, that's a good way
anything
to put
like
it.
it's not like what's it called? That other one. There was one Star Trek movie that was like an abortion.
The one with the whales.
No, that one was bad too. But that's not the one I'm thinking of. Um,
The
the
I don't
Final
know.
Frontier, maybe 5. It was 5. I don't remember what 5 is called though. The one where I go searching for God.
Oh,
That
that's
one.
fun.
Where it's like you can just
Well,
completely ignore that one and just like forget
if
it ever happened.
if you like the other two new Star Treks, you'll probably at least enjoy parts of it
Yeah,
while you watch it.
exactly. Like the cast is still doing what the cast does well, and that kind of stuff. Um,
Now I have that Beastie Boys song stuck in my head.
Sabotage. But yeah. So, do you want to talk about your Steam controller while we?
Oh yeah, so over Christmas break, Steam had a giant like sale on everything, and then I wanted to get a controller for Steam because I'm not really good at using the mouse and the I'm not used to it, so I'm not that good at it when I play like first person shooters. So I wanted to get a controller, but I don't want to pay like $60 for an Xbox or PlayStation controller to work. So I saw a Steam controller and I'm like, that kind of looked cool, and it was on sale for $30, and it was like 35 with shipping. So I bought it. It's really cool. There's a giant learning curve though. That is a problem. It's like takes a while to get used to. Because I have it
Mhm.
here, I can show you. So this pad is like completely smooth, and it's a trackpad. So instead
Uh,
of a joystick, it's a trackpad. So like that takes a lot to get used to, but
mhm.
it's cool. And then there's on the bottom here, these are buttons on either side, and then there's the bumpers and triggers.
What do those
And
buttons do on the back?
you can depending what game it is, it substitutes like A, X, B, or Y. So I was using it to play Left 4 Dead. So now
Mhm.
instead of moving my thumb over to hit or A to pick stuff up as an action, you can use the back bumpers as those.
Oh,
So that's really cool. And then the other one, there is a regular joystick, and then this one is like a D-pad, but that one is also a trackpad. So like you can use this as a mouse also, and just like I don't use it as a mouse because I think it looks stupid if I'm sitting there with a controller to use my like mouse on the internet. But
yeah.
if you want to, you can do that, and it
That
makes
sounds
cool
stupid.
noises when you use it. And it's very comfortable to hold, and
Mhm.
it pairs very well with. You can pair wirelessly or wired, but the wireless one works very well. It integrates with all the games. Like if it has a controller symbol, then it just works. There is no problems with like buttons or me. I didn't have to set anything up. It just worked. So that was a really good. Um, and it doesn't have to be new games either because I was playing the first Left 4 Dead, which is an
Mhm.
older game, and the controller worked perfect with it. And then I bought actually a bunch of games for the Christmas deal because I had a gift card, so I got a lot. I got
What'd
that
you buy?
Jurassic Park. I got the Jurassic Park game. That's like from that company where the entire game is interactive cutscenes.
Oh, the Telltale one.
Yeah, I don't care. I love Jurassic Park. Um, but that game actually is kind of the plot of Jurassic World, even though it came out years before, because
Yeah,
it's
I
about
noticed that in the
genetically engineered
trailer.
dinosaur. I got both Knights of the Old Republics
Hmm.
because they were on sale for like 50 cents. I got Portal 2. I got Firewatch, which is a new game.
I want to play
And
that.
it's seemed really cool. It was on sale, but it's like a puzzle solving game where you have to get to your friend, and all you have is like a walkie talkie and like things you have to solve, and you're just like alone in the wilderness trying to do stuff.
Hmm.
Oh, and I got it's called Outlast, I think. It's that horror game I was talking about. where you
Was it?
go into an asylum that's
Oh,
abandoned,
okay.
and it's like it's a very good classic real survival horror where if you try to fight everything, you can't. It's impossible to win if you try to fight everything. Like you have to hide under beds and like hide behind things. And there's certain characters that will chase you, and they'll learn if you do the same thing over and over again. They'll learn like where you're hiding, and then so you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, or else you keep dying.
Oh, wow.
That seemed cool, and yeah. So, but they were every game I got was under $5,
Hmm.
so like it was worth it. The most expensive thing I got was a Steam controller.
I bought something on Steam and during the Steam sale too. I forgot which one it was though. I bought Empire at War and Republic Commando.
Ah, that's cool.
I got both of
I
those
think I
from
played Republic
Republic.
Commando a very long time ago, like for whatever it was designed for.
What's it called? I want to get Starfighter on the PS. I have what's it called? Like you can get that. It's a PS2 classic they have. Um, so I might get that at some point. Um, but yeah, so I don't. I can kind of get my PlayStation controller to work for a few things on my computer.
That's why the Steam controller is so good because it's built for Steam. So,
Right.
but now it's
Like
like up back up to like $50, I
like
think.
I couldn't get it to work. I got it to work for Saints Row 4, but I could not get it to work at all for Battlefront 2.
I don't know. Battlefront 2 might not be
That's what I think
supported,
because
but
it's so old. But yeah, so which brings us speaking of it actually worked out well. We're gonna talk about video games today. We have remember earlier I said we're talking about companies that don't learn from their mistakes.
yep.
Nintendo announced this week more details about the Nintendo Switch, which I stayed up until midnight for to watch. Um, I felt cheated after watching this, and everyone's heralding this as like the greatest thing in gaming and stuff like that. First of all, let's talk about the console specs. The console itself does not run games above 720p.
That could be. That's a little bit different. I feel like Nintendo is just like, well, as long as we're as good as like two generations behind PlayStation, Xbox, everyone will be okay with it.
Well, the thing is, did what's it called? Did I don't have a problem. I'm not one of those people who's like graphics are the most important thing in gaming. I especially for games like Mario. Like, how much more HD could Mario become?
That's true.
That's my thing. Um, Now the Switch has a few other issues. Number one, the games aren't on discs anymore. The games are on reloadable flash memory, which actually I think is better because you can theoretically make games a lot larger. Because you can like there's no 64 gigabyte um like Blu-ray, but there is a 64 gigabyte um like SD card. The memory on the console is expandable very easily because you can just plug a micro SD card in, and you can put all your games onto a micro SD.
Yeah,
Issue with
that's a.
that is micro SDs don't go very low
Mhm.
in terms of how much space they can have. So you have to constantly switch out for your game. Um,
I remember I had to do that for Rock Band too because I got like extra songs on my micro SD card and I like got all fucked up sometimes. So it was really annoying.
uh, um, the Switch is retailing at $300. That
Worth
comes out
it.
on March 3rd. Um, the Switch has a weird control setup. It has these things called the Joy-Con controllers, which they're two little handheld controllers, both of which are full controllers. So there are two games coming out at release. You heard that right. That's not me exaggerating. There are two games coming out on release day. Two.
They only need to.
Let me reiterate this for a third time. Two. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which if you have a Wii U like me, you don't need to buy a Switch because that game comes out for the Wii U as well. And 1-2 Switch, which is a tech demo of what you can do with the Joy-Con controllers.
Wow. So they're really pulling out all the stops.
Yes. The console. They also announced a few other games. There's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Edition, which has a few more tracks, battle mode, and what's it called? There's one other thing, and new characters for Mario Kart 8. But it's an HD re-release of Mario Kart 8. But it's not really an HD re-release because it's the literal exact same thing, just on a little cartridge instead of on a CD. That's not coming out until April or May. which confuses me because you would think that'd be a launch title.
Yeah, because
It's a
everyone loves
port.
Mario Kart.
It's a
Like,
port.
so,
Like,
yeah.
um, so that's one. There's Splatoon 2,
Cool.
um, which is Nintendo's big first-person shooter, where you got to ink up the battlefield and kill other people with ink.
Is that the
Um,
game where they had to hire people to like write programs so people couldn't draw dicks?
yes. No, 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 no. That was a different one where they had the high people to look at pictures of penises
Yeah.
to figure out every possible way a penis could look.
Yup. So they could
Like,
like cancel them out.
yeah, so they could prevent it from. It might have been Splatoon, but I think it was a different game. Of,
It's another drawing game that
yeah.
Nintendo released.
Oh, I know what it is. It was Swap Note Studio.
Oh, okay.
The flip note one where you can create flip art.
I
Um,
think Nintendo, whoever is in charge of Nintendo's marketing department, I think should get fired. Because if you didn't tell me that Nintendo was releasing a new console, I would have no idea.
exactly.
Like whenever
Um,
Xbox or PlayStation releases a new console, like everyone knows about it.
yeah. Now the console itself is weird. The there's a box. Like when you have a PlayStation, there's a box that you have that's at the PlayStation. There's a box, but that's not the console. The console is the screen inside the box that you can take out and bring with you on the go, which has a 3-hour battery life if you're bringing it on the go, approximately, depending on the game you're playing. Now, to use that, you attach the Joy-Con controllers onto the sides of it.
Uh,
So then you can use that as like the Wii U gamepad.
so when you're not using, if you're using it as a console, like on a TV, are you just holding two pieces of a controller?
Yes. Oh no, no, no! Those get put into like it goes into like a thing that where you can hold it like an actual controller.
Oh, okay, okay, that's good.
There's the thing it snaps into. But they also work as Wii motion controllers too. But there's
Yeah,
no Wii. It's not backward compatible. No Wii games work. No Wii U games.
yeah. They should
Because
re-release Cooking Mama Cook Off.
um, so that's the whole thing with that. Now the other problem is um the price points that go along with this. Games that are usual $59.99, which at this point I've just come to accept that that's not going to change.
Yeah, it will just
Nintendo
go up.
has jumped onto the bandwagon of charging for online now.
Yeah,
So starting in the fall, you will have to pay an annual fee to use their online service. But much like PlayStation and Xbox, if you pay for it, you also get free games. Now, the free games, unlike PlayStation and Xbox, where they stay in your system, in your library until your subscription runs out, these games go away after the month, so
huh.
you don't get to keep them. Whether that means they're going to give you more options for free games or what that means, I don't know.
So it would be good if it was like a rental service.
Right, like what the way they should do it is like for a month you have to pick two games, and those two games you have to play all you want for the month, and it would have to be a virtual console. It's only NES and SNES games have been announced to work with that. Now that's one thing with the online. There's parental control. The only way to talk is through a outside smartphone app.
So
You can't do it within the console itself.
you have to like talk on the phone, basically.
Basically, yeah, while playing the game. Now that's a whole other issue. Um, there are parental controls again, which allow you to limit your child's time while playing. I'm saying your child because apparently our largest demographic is men 55 plus. So, there you go. You can limit your child's time while playing the console. The the other games that are coming out aren't exactly things that were worth buying the console. Like if you have Splatoon, I don't think you're gonna rush out to buy Splatoon 2 and the console at release in June.
Maybe it was a
Um,
life-changing experience for someone playing that game.
like I'm not gonna go and buy for Skyrim. Like Skyrim comes out in the fall, for the Switch, and they had Todd Howard on, the head developer at Bethesda, and he's like, now you can play you can play Skyrim on the go. I have a laptop. I could always play Skyrim on the
That is true.
go.
How
Now
big is it? Like the handheld one when you walk around with it?
the handheld is slightly bigger than a 3DS.
Oh, okay, that's. I was
Like
imagining something
a
much bigger.
3DS fully open, not 3DS closed.
Yeah, I was imagining something much bigger, so
No.
I guess that's
If you have apparently if you have cargo pants, it'll fit in your pocket. Which, I
maybe we'll
mean, if you're
cargo.
someone who's gonna be bringing a Nintendo console out in public with you, you probably are wearing cargo pants. Um, there was one other big thing. New controllers are expensive. The Pro controller is $70. No, the Pro controller is 70. The new set of Joy Cons, if you want to play with a second person, is a game that requires both Joy Cons, is 80.
Wow.
That blows out by a good $20 the cost of a new DualShock 4 or whatever Microsoft calls theirs. Um, so that's a big issue there that's being encountered with this console. Now this is an interesting thing because of the fact the box that plugs into your TV, you don't have to move it to a different TV. So if you have multiple TVs in your house, you can buy another box and put it somewhere else in
Oh,
your house, and you can just move the screen from box to box, and you can still use your console anywhere. That costs another $90.
okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, for a glorified adapter.
Yeah, it's almost like if they just had an HDMI port, it's doing that. But I guess it's also charging the screen.
Right. Yeah. It keeps the screen from running on its battery. Um, but yeah. So this is gonna be, I think. Now that there is one good game they announced, in my opinion. I never played Splatoon. I might get it if I can find it on discount, but I'm not gonna pay full price for it. Um, is Super Mario Odyssey, which is coming out this holiday season. Which, should nothing else come out between now and the holiday season, that will be the time that I buy a Nintendo Switch, because it
Yeah,
is a Mario game by the same development team who created Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and I believe Super Mario Galaxy.
I got
So,
Super Mario Runner on my phone.
did you pay for it?
No,
Good.
it was free, and I was like, oh, cool, it's free. And then I played like the first level, and then after you beat the first level, it's like, okay, now you can pay for the rest of the game. And I was like, cool, fuck you.
Yeah, my brother paid for it.
I did not pay for it.
Um, but I don't know how this is gonna play out for Nintendo. They announced a few other weird games like Arms, which is a boxing game, but with like spring-loaded boxing gloves.
Cool.
Um, they announced FIFA is coming. Now, do you want to do something that's gonna make you laugh about the new FIFA game coming to the Switch?
Okay, what?
What FIFA game are they porting with new
It's gonna be
rosters?
like FIFA '08.
It's FIFA for the PS3.
Ah, cool.
They the Wii can the Switch cannot handle graphics beyond that. They're porting a 360 PS3 edition of FIFA.
Wow, that's really sad.
Yeah. There's FIFA, there's Skyrim we talked about. Um, we know Square has a few games coming out. There's a new Fire Emblem coming out. There's a new Shin Megami Tensei coming out, but none of these at release. Um, and then there's one other major release. Allegedly, the Pokemon Company is working on a game, and the A team, not the B team that does all the spin-offs. The A team of the Pokemon Company is working on a game for the Switch, which leads me to believe that they are going to. This is going to be it's both a hybrid and a handheld console.
I guess that'd be cool. But maybe it could be like the dumpster fire that is Pokemon Coliseum.
That wasn't that bad of a game.
I don't like that game.
I enjoyed it. I liked Gale of Darkness.
I never played that game.
That game was fun. But yeah, so I think Nintendo needs to step it up at E3. They're going to be showing new footage of new games at E3. But you need a stronger release. Like the 3DS suffered at launch for being $250 and having Steel Diver, Pilot Wings Resort, and Madden at release. And there were a few
Yeah.
other games too that I'm just forgetting. So now you're like, let's increase the price of our new handheld by $50, make them pay for online, and give them two games to choose from.
And one of them is not like even a game. It's like a demo.
It's a $60 tech demo. Like it
Yeah.
shows you like no, you know what it's more like? It's not. It's more like Wii Sports,
Oh, okay. Wii
where
Sports
it's
is
like
fun.
to show you what you can do with the Joy Cons. Where it's like there's a game where you Like, you remember that old NES game where there was a shootout? You had to push the button,
Nope.
not too soon, not too late, to shoot the other guy first.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think
That
so.
it's there's one like that. There's a few other games. I didn't look at the entire listing of games. I have no interest in that. Like that should have been bundled into the console.
I agree.
Like or bundle in some Wii Sports aspect to the console because you can hold the Joy-Con in your hand. It makes it a little bit less awkward to play Wii Sports now because the controller is not as cumbersome. Or bundle in Pilot Wings, bundle in something, anything to make it where I'm buying. Because if you don't buy a game at release, you don't have a game to play on this console. Because if recent track records of launching the eShop is anything to go by, the eShop's not going to be ready until June. Because the eShop didn't
Yeah.
launch for the 3DS for 6 months, the eShop didn't launch on the Wii for 6 months, the Wii U eShop didn't launch for 6 months. What the fuck's happening here? Like, if you do you not know how to like keep this going? Like you need something at release to get people to buy it. And I know you think Breath of the Wild is gonna do it, but if someone can go out and buy a cheap Wii U used on release day of the Nintendo Switch, which that day you will have hundreds of people going to GameStop with their Wii U, trading it in to get credit for their Switch. They don't have to pay full price for it. You will now have a overabundance of Wii U's that'll be dirt cheap, used, that people can now play Breath of the Wild on. So you lost a lot of money there. This is a really
Wait,
dumb
so
idea.
does the Switch has no disc port at all,
None.
so you still can't watch a DVD
Still can't
or
watch
Blu
DVDs.
on a Nintendo system.
To be fair though, I think it's also because it's also a handheld that kind of makes sense.
The PlayStation Vita or
Cannot
PS.
play DVDs. And the PSP could not play DVDs either.
Yeah, you can buy those little ones.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna look. They're gonna. I think if Nintendo's smart, they'll have like PlayStation a segment of the online shop where you can buy movies.
That'd be smart.
But again, I don't know how well movie homes will take that because you can just put them onto the SD card and put them on your phone then.
Cool.
But I don't know. It's this whole thing is like I am beyond words, and people are hailing it like it's the greatest thing on the planet because I saw a Zelda trailer. Like you need to take a step back and look at this for what it is. This is a bad indicator of what's going to happen. It's like when the first company did the season pass option,
Uh huh.
DLC. This is going to be the new thing like that, where you're going to launch with no games, and you're going to expect people to go out and buy it, and then it's going to tank, and then this is going to crash the game. This isn't going to crash the game industry. It's going to crash Nintendo, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna shit on Nintendo. Like Microsoft and Sony will be fine.
Exactly, because like here's what I'm recommending you do. If you want to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, don't buy a Wii U right now.
Are you
Wait.
talking to the royal you or me?
Well, everyone, listeners, everyone. Let's say you don't have a Wii U right now. If you do, buy it for the Wii U. Don't buy it for Switch. If you want to buy it on release day, go to GameStop or go 2 days after release day. That's what I would recommend you do. Go 2 days after release day. Go in and ask and buy a used Wii U. That the Wii U at base is $250, I believe. If you buy it used, it's even cheaper. Buy one of those, then go online when you get home and buy the digital copy. There you go. You just fucked Nintendo out of their money.
Also, I feel like most people still don't know that the Wii U is separate from the Wii.
That's the other thing, yeah. Because that marketing campaign was so botched, it's ridiculous. I don't understand. The whole, because it's Nintendo thing doesn't fly anymore. Because Nintendo has gone so downhill in everything besides the handheld market, it's ridiculous. You should just build this as a new handheld that also docks to your TV. Don't build it as a home console.
Yeah, that probably would have better people. It'd be better reception for its shortcomings.
If you said this is the new handheld, it can also play games that run at full on a Wii U, people would have bought it day one. But because you build it as a home console that can also be brought on the go, that's where you screwed up.
Yeah, now it's just a shitty home console.
Exactly. That's the big problem here. So, which brings us to the end of our show. A few housekeeping things. I'm not sure if the ads are live yet, but we may have advertisements on the show now. Because we recently...
Do we have to do them, or is they
We do
just
not.
like
Nope, they just inserted into it.
Oh, I'll do them anyway. Tell me what to
Nope,
do.
don't. Um,
Today's
so,
sponsor is Nintendo.
um, so you may have you may be hearing ads during this.
Do we get like a
Tailored more
promo
toward
code?
what
Promo code. I don't know. Whatever.
promo code? Suck our dicks.
Yeah.
That's Nintendo's new promo code. Like, but yeah. So if there are ads, that is because Spreaker is monetizing our podcast. So they're making money on us now. Yeah,
Do we get money?
I think so. I hope so. I submitted a W-9, so we better get money. But yeah, so that's why that is. We actually might not make any because we have so few listeners.
We'll see.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's why that's happening. If you're hearing ads. On top of that, we do have a Twitter account. We are at 30min review. You can actually see my mini aneurysm I had during the Nintendo Switch presentation because I was tweeting about it while it was happening.
That's good. The live tweet.
Yeah. So that happened there, and there was one other thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, next week's episode. We do not have an episode of Beware of Spoilers for a while because we don't have a new release until February 10th. At that point, we will be doing John Wick Chapter 2.
Cool.
Or the Lego Batman movie.
Also cool.
Or 50 Shades Darker.
Probably not.
No. But those are the movies coming out that day. We do not have anything before that. Because quite honestly, I don't want to give any money to see Triple X3 or anything else coming out in January. We don't get paid to do these reviews. So our next episode of 30-minute reviews next week will be Roar.
Ah, can't wait.
Then The Incredible Hulk.
I can wait.
Then Pretty in Pink. Then Clueless.
Ah, Clueless.
So.
Wait, are those two separate ones, or is that
two separate?
Oh, okay.
Then we have Lego Batman movies, and we possibly after the Super Bowl or right before a week before the Super Bowl, we will be doing year in review for the NFL. Probably Pro Bowl weekend because what else?
Because who cares about Pro Bowl?
Exactly.
They're putting Pro Bowl back to how it should be, AFC versus NFC.
I don't know. I like the old way they did it with the fantasy draft because it makes it a little bit more interesting. In my opinion.
I don't think. It depends who is doing the fantasy draft.
Exactly. If they had actual coaches doing it and not Deion Sanders, then it.
Yeah, I don't care about Deion Sanders.
If they picked MVP coaches to do the fantasy, that would be.
Or if they just chose like Rob Riggle, that'd be fun.
No, but I think they should have done like if they let's say the Patriots don't make it this year, I would take Bill Belichick for the AFC, and for the NFC I would take Pete Carroll.
Or what they should do is have Michael Jordan and Charles. No, not Michael. Shaq and Charles Barkley do it.
Why?
Because they're really funny.
They are hilarious on the what's it called, the pregame show and the halftime show for basketball. But yeah, so that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Be back next week with Roar, which I have to find some.
I can give you. I have the digital copy.
I think it's on TCM on demand for some reason.
Yeah. That's cool.
Like I don't know why it's on TCM on demand, but I think it is.
The movie where like over 80 people were mauled by a lion while filming it, so it'll be fun.
That will be fun. So we'll be back with that next week.
Goodbye.